Here. All right, guys, thanks for being here tonight on Team Forever Strong's weekly team call. Today is Thursday, May 26th, almost the end of the month, few days left. We got this. So I wanted to go into, I always like to start off our calls with some recognition. So if you guys have any Emerald coaches or anybody who you would like to recognize tonight and congratulate for rank advancing or anything exciting, you guys can go ahead and unmute. Go ahead, Carrie.
So we did the team call early last week, and we had Melanie on, so we didn't do recognition. So just want to recognize Kim for hitting Emerald last week. So
that's awesome. Congratulations, Kim. All right, awesome. Does anybody else have anyone they want to recognize?
I have one.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
It was the same thing. She hit it last week, but we weren't on the call. So her name's Jen Buckmiller, and she's been coaching for like a month or a little over a month, and she didn't have one person, and she's been really trying super, super hard, really good about posting, and she finally got one. Now she's got 2 more. So she's moving forward. We're excited.
That's awesome.
Congrats, Jen. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. Anybody else? All right, I have one. So I'd like to congratulate Christine on becoming an Emerald coach today. She's doing awesome. So great job. Keep it up. I'm so proud of you. All right, anybody else before I dive right in? All right. So a couple notes that I wanted to go over, just a couple housekeeping items here before we get started right into this call. I'm really excited for this call tonight. It's going to be awesome, really inspiring, super motivating. So I'm glad that you guys are all on here tonight. So first thing I wanted to go over was the My Challenge tracker for the challenge groups that we just started using this one. And I honestly didn't think that I was going to like it because I really like running the online private, Facebook groups. But for those of you who don't know, for the My Challenge tracker, you're only allowed 10 admins on it. But if you're an admin, you can see when everybody logs in their Shakeology, if they drink their Shakeology, if they've, done their workout, you can see all of that stuff, which is awesome. And so you can go and you can look at everyone's list and you can see if they logged it in or not. And then if they didn't, you can reach out to them and message them and just check in and follow up and see how things are going. So for those of you who aren't admins, you can't see that with your people. But if you wanted to run your own and start your own, you'd be able to see that. So far I've been really liking it, and I've got a lot of really great feedback from people on that. So I'm really excited. Next thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the coach online office, so you should be checking in the breaking news section. So if you log into your account and you go into the coach online office, on the top right, under breaking news is where all the super important information is, and you should be checking that every few days. So there were a couple brand new, there was a brand new 21-day fix training guideline that you can use to implement into your challenge groups. And then they revamped a bunch of other programs too. So it's really easy now to get started and run your own challenge group. So you have all the templates are there, and there's a bunch in the coach online office too. So I'd say after going through probably, 2 of mine or 2 of your upline coaches challenge groups, by that point, you're probably ready to go off and run your own. So everything is there for you. Couldn't be made any easier. All right, couple parties here I wanted to go over and review one more time for Summit. We have the Beachbody Coach Summit, guys, in Nashville in just 62 days. I'm so excited for this. I can't even wait. I'm after seeing everyone this past weekend at our retreat, I'm like, get me to this event. I just can't wait to get there. And it's going to be awesome. There's a lot of people from the team going there. But there are a couple of parties that you guys are going to want to get to. The first one, and I've mentioned it before, but for those of you who are, might be newer onto this, there's going to be the Success Club party. And so a requirement to get there to this exclusive party is to hit Success Club 10 this month. So you're just going to help 5 people get started on their health and fitness journey with 5 challenge packs. And there's your 5 people, Success Club 10. You're going to do that this month and next month, and then you'll be able to join us at the Success Club party in Nashville. They're going to be having a special concert for us in the arena. It's going to be awesome, And I know I said it in my video that I made the other day on the team page, but you are not going to want to miss this. I cannot stress this enough. Trust me, you are not going to want to be the one leaving and walking back to the hotel room after while everybody else goes there. You're going to want to do whatever it takes to make it happen so that you can be there with us to see what I mean about being a part of those exclusive parties that you can get invited to. I'm going to give you guys a tip. This is a really helpful tip. Anybody who is not in Success Club right now, first of all, it doesn't matter if you have 0 points. You can hit Success Club 10 by the end of the month. It can no doubt happen. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to spend every waking moment that you have, trying to connect with new people and following up and asking for referrals. And you're going to have to really see what you're made of, but it can happen. So when those Success Club leaderboards, guys, I post them in the team page once a week. If you haven't hit Success Club yet, you should be reaching out to those people. You should be looking up. Every single one of you on the team who is at 0 or 2 or whatever, and you're pushing to hit Success Club, look to those people who are already there, go to them and ask for tips and help and ways for you to be able to reach this goal so that, you can be proactive about this and take action steps and make it happen. What you want to stay away from is commiserating with the other people who are also struggling, because then what ends up happening is you tend to kind of all get together and come up with your excuses of why it's okay if you miss out. And guess what? If we miss out, it's all right. We'll just go to the pizza place after and hang out and get a couple drinks. No big deal. If you do that, then you're already giving yourself a way out. You've already given yourself a reason of why you don't need for it to happen. So I've found, just from experience since being in this business, always look up to the people who are where you need to be and want to be. So when I first started in this business, anytime I needed tips and help and just anything, I always got right on and I was messaging the top coaches in the company. So that's my best advice, guys, for you, is that when you see those Success Club leaderboards, those people who are already there, you want to be connecting with those people. All right. The next party that's going to take place is called a team leader party. So there was probably about 3 to 4 people in the entire team who have hit this at one point or the other. Not team builder, team leader. And what a team leader is first of all, you have to be a paid diamond coach. You need to have 4 personally sponsored coaches who have at least 1 Success Club point on the board for this month. You need to have 5,000 volume on your weak leg, and you're earning about $1,000 minimum a month. All right, that's a team leader. Now, the requirement to get to this party are all those requirements, but you also have to be a 2-star diamond coach, and you had to be a paid 2-star diamond coach for at least 1 week during the month of May. All right, so there's going to be some of you guys that'll be there with me at the party, and I'm really excited about that as well. All right, a couple more things here. We have our coaching blitz. So I was going to have our coaching blitz on Sunday, guys. And if you're a new coach, a coaching blitz is really just a way for people to hear about what coaching is. It's a 1-hour event that we usually run. And every 5 minutes, a really quick video or a post would go up for these people to learn about coaching so that they could see if this is for them or not, if this seems like it would be interesting to them or not. So I was originally going to do it on Sunday night, but then I forgot that Memorial Day was Memorial Day weekend. So I'm going to change it to Tuesday night. So Tuesday night will be our coaching blitz. It'll be 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you are going to want to make sure you take advantage of these groups. So I always tell my coaches, invite and get in at least 10 people into these groups, because you figure, you add 10 people in to check it out, you might get 1 or maybe, if you're lucky, 2 active coaches out of it, 2 people who actually want to join your team and be a part of this awesome opportunity. So that's all that I had to say tonight. Guys, I'm really excited because this past weekend we had our very first Team Forever Strong leadership retreat up in Maine with a lot of the girls, a lot of the leaders on the team, and it was unbelievable. And so when you hear from each of these girls tonight, you're going to see they are coming off of this thing so amped up, really inspired, super motivated. They have taken ownership over their business and they are ready to just blow it up and go after those dreams that they have in their life. And so, you know, you hear me say all the time, you have to get to the events to know what I mean. This is why these girls feel the way that they do and are going to be able to share the things that they're going to share, because they were actually there in it, firsthand experiencing it, living it. All right. So you can't possibly, you know, I tell you to get to all these different events like Summit and, you know, Super Saturdays and all that stuff. You can't bottle that all up and bring back that feeling to you. All right. But I thought it would be really important to hear from each of the girls that was there. And they're going to share with you their biggest takeaway or their tip, you know, the biggest piece that they got out of this. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but does anybody want to just go right ahead and start? Lauren? Okay, awesome. Oh. There we go.
I got you. All right, I'm talking.
I'm good.
Sorry, I'm just kicking my company out of the room so they don't. Well, if I just don't want you guys to be talking over me. I know. Sorry, I always go first. Sorry, Care. Do you want to go? All right. So my biggest takeaway from this weekend, I mean, I have a lot of takeaways. I really learned so much about myself this weekend and how breaking down my walls really was so invigorating. Like I can't, these walls, I've literally held these walls up for my whole life. And to sit there surrounded by people that I really hardly don't know, and share my fears with these people, it was so, like, these are fears that I don't tell people. I'm not like, hey, by the way, I'm afraid of this and this and this and this. So to tell these people was it was scary. But at the end of it, like, we all connected. And that was the coolest part about it, was that it wasn't the good things in our lives that we connected about. It was the trials and tribulations and the hard times that we really connected to and we could relate with each other too. And I thought that was awesome. So I kind of took that home with me. And obviously you guys probably, some of you have seen, I put a post up about postpartum depression. And that was kind of a big deal for me because I may have shared that a year ago when I signed up as a coach, but never really touched base on it again. So many people connected with me after that post. And that was like the coolest part. Even, you know, aside from selling a challenge pack or whatever, it was so cool to like connect with other moms. You know, one mom was like, thank you. I didn't even know what I was going through. And after reading your post, I think I'm going to get help. And it's like, wow, you know, like I'm helping people without even trying, just by sharing my vulnerable piece of me. And it just, you know, I want to share it more. So I'm kind of just going to come up with new ways to share it. And, you know, one other piece that really, I'm a different person. Like, I'm a different person today than I was last week. And it's really cool because, like, even my relationship with my husband is, like, growing in just these 5 days I've been home. And that's, for me, that's so cool because I'm no longer afraid of my feelings. Like, I'm owning who I am and how I feel, and I'm not judging it, or I'm not feeling based on what others are going to think of me. And I think that was the coolest part of this weekend, that I just swallowed that and I got over it, and I knocked those walls down and I let new people in. And it was like, wow, like, these people are amazing and this feels really amazing, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So I definitely encourage you to share the vulnerable pieces of your life. Share the pieces that you're afraid to share, because that's what people want, you know, that's where they connect with you. And that's when you'll get those messages that, like, I was in tears all day that day. Like, every time someone posted something or like messaged me, I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. And you can get that too, you know, because obviously I'm a mom, so that's sort of my target, but you all have it, you know, you just got to figure it out and dial it in. And it's so easy. Once you do, it's so easy. And that's definitely, I really want you guys to do that. Seriously, write down some things that you feel you've struggled with in the past, or maybe you're struggling with now, and use those as a way to connect with people. And like, I'm trying really hard to just switch it from like, I'm not just trying to sell you a challenge pack. I want to connect with you on another level. I want to know what your fears are. Cause you know, that's, like I said, that's where we all connected this weekend. And if I can connect with other people and other moms on that level, I can understand what they need from me. And I think that will really go a long way. Maybe not very quickly, but eventually it will when I, you know, get that momentum picking up a little bit. So yeah.
That was awesome, Lauren. Thank you so much. And yeah, she's right. I mean, definitely that exercise that we did when we, you know, wrote down our fears and we had to all read them and then burn them in the fire pit. I mean, like Lauren said, I mean, it's not easy to share those things, but it's something that we all have within us. We all have things that we are afraid of, or these fears that are holding us back from really reaching our truest potential. So the most important thing is to acknowledge those things, you know, realize that they are there and that they exist, and then just be willing to move forward from that. And, you know, just like Lauren said, usually after, like, once you recognize those fears and you get rid of them, following that becomes more growth for yourself, more personal growth for you in your own life with your relationships. And so that's what Lauren is experiencing now, just 4 days after being back from the retreat. So it's really awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Lauren. All right, who'd like to go next?
I got it.
All right, you got this.
So I totally agree with Lauren. Like, I feel like I've found more of a platform to go off of too. But one of the fears that I shared was the fear of being mediocre. And I don't want to be stuck in the mundane of everyday life. And I even brought this up to my husband the other day, like, do you want to be stuck in the mediocre? Like, I was just like calling him out. I'm like, we don't want to be those people. Like, we got to set big goals. And, you know, I was definitely fired up. And I was on the high, but I'm approaching people's conversations and I'm talking to them like, and I'm not there financially either, guys. I'm not, like, definitely have a ways to go and a way to grow, even though I'm like not working as much as I was, but big goals as far as that goes. But anyway, I don't have that financial growth to share with people, but I have the personal growth. And I want to be able to share with people and say, you know, it doesn't take that much time. It just takes the consistency. And I know that's one thing that I've stuck with was the consistency, but I talked to Kim Carver he's from corporate and he's amazing. And I shared these points with my team on Tuesday night on our call. And it really stuck with me. So one thing I struggle with is discipline, and my schedule varies. I work 12-hour shifts, but one day I can do a lot more time than other days, but I'm going to be backing off my time. So I needed to talk to him a little bit more about how to structure a little bit better and how I could be more disciplined. So he gave me 3 really good points on self-leadership, and that it's important to lead yourself before you can lead other people. So discipline is a big part of that. So the 3 things, if you guys want to write these down, the 3 disciplines of self-leadership are completely committing to your goals and your why. I know we talk about your why all the time. Your upline coach, Kathy, talks about it often. And one of the things that we share with people when we're sharing our story is our why. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we putting this time into it? We're all busy. And this makes us more busy, but we're more busy for a purpose now, you know? So completely committed to your goals and your why. And long-term goals are great, but setting 30 to 60 day increments of goals to get you to that long-term goal. Okay. And the second point is discipline to control the controllable. So there's a lot of things that we dwell on. This coach cancels, or this challenge group isn't going the way that we want it to. People aren't really responding the way we want it to. Like, those are things we can't control, or our kid's sick, or, you know, those kinds of things. That so we said to focus on the things that we can control, 5 to 8 things, and check off those each day. So we have the business activity tracker, we have our power hour, things that we do, but set 5 to 8 goals each day. And at the end of the day, look back, or even throughout the week, at the end of the day, think about, did I win this day? So you don't dwell on it, you release it, you go to bed, and you wake up the next morning and you say, okay, I'm going to win this day. How can I fulfill these goals and do better at winning the day? So don't beat yourself up over it, but be more disciplined in how you can reach those goals that you've set for your day. Number 3 is be accountable to 2 people. Number 1, yourself, and then another person that you know will keep you accountable. So it could be your coach, it could be a success partner, it could be your spouse, it could be your best friend, somebody you know that understands what's going on here and can really hold you accountable to your goals and not poo-poo them or throw the pity party for you or along with you, like Kathy was saying. When we're all shooting to hit Success Club each month, and people that aren't working hard to hit Success Club, and you reach out to them, they're not the person to talk to. You need to reach out to the person who's killing it and see what they're doing, and they can build you up in that area. So completely committed to your goals and your why, disciplined to control the controllable, and be accountable to 2 people, yourself and one other person that's going to kick you in the butt when you need it. So those are my pointers. That's what I took away.
No, that was amazing, Carrie. Thank you so much for sharing that and giving those tips. They were really helpful. I saw everybody writing them down.
Awesome.
That was great. And just real quick before I let somebody else, take over, guys, especially if you're a newer coach on this call right now, Carrie is a busy person, and pretty much almost everyone on this team, they're full-time working parents. They have their jobs, they have their kids, they have sports that they have to go to, but they're running successful businesses because of that key piece there that Carrie said, which is consistency and being disciplined every single day. It's not that they're going balls to the wall crazy, doing tons and tons of hours every day and killing themselves, but they're just being consistent and doing what works with them and their schedule, and they're showing up every day, a little bit at a time, keeping their goals, and they're committed to it. And so that's why they're building successful businesses with this.
And you need to be able to sustain what you're doing too.
Exactly.
So I'm not saving it for the end of the month. And I've had many months where I've the last week, I'm like, I got a lot of people I got to talk to. But
yep.
Almost at All-Star Legend. So
that's so awesome.
Which is almost 2 years of hitting Success Club. So only a few more months left. But anyway,
yeah, guys,
totally doable.
That's awesome, guys. It really is. Success Club Legend, for those of you who don't know, that's somebody who helps 3 people at least every single month get started on their health and fitness journey consistently for 24 months. That's a Success Club Legend. And they're very, very rare. But if you stay consistent with doing the daily actions every day and you're disciplined, it's actually easy to do it. Mm-hmm. You just got to be disciplined.
Right. So
those are awesome tips, Carrie. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Who would like to do it next? Okay, Tina, go ahead, honey. Oh.
Who's going? Me?
Who's going? Oh, Katie.
Yeah. Did you say me or did you say someone else? Sorry.
Yeah, Katie, then Tina.
Sorry, Tina. Okay, so my biggest takeaway was when Kim Carver was speaking to us, he talked about our why. And the biggest thing for me is, you hear coaches talk about their why all the time. And I feel like when I reflect back on my personal life, immediately I'm like, oh, my kids are my why. Obviously, my husband and, the future for our family. But then he started to talk about the difference between wanting it and owning it. So for me, that was the biggest takeaway, because I always had a why, but it wasn't, it sounds horrible, but it wasn't consuming me, because I'd have days where I didn't want to do my workout. I didn't have my Shakeology, where I would slowly just kind of miss one thing here, one thing there, and I wasn't being consistent like Carrie. And I wanted to, I felt like I was missing something. There was something almost like a fire, missing inside of me. And after listening to Kim speak, I realized that's what was happening. I had a why, and I wanted to have this why, be my main focus of the business and why I was doing this. Cause I, like Kathy just said, we're all full-time moms, we're full-time, we have a job, we're this isn't, I don't have the leisure just kind of meander around and, this is something I make a priority in that free time that I have. But there were days where I was just kind of hitting a few bumps. And I realized after speaking to Kim that I wasn't owning my why. I wasn't making these things that are so critical and so crucial to our business a priority every single day. And then I would just, things were just slowly kind of falling off the tracks. And sometimes coaches get lost in their way and all of a sudden they just feel like this isn't for them, where it is an amazing opportunity for you, because I've gone through that where I feel like maybe this isn't for me. But what was happening was I just wasn't really like focusing on what was right in front of me and the importance of, building the business. So, but my biggest takeaway was when, Kim was speaking, the difference between wanting, your why, wanting the business and then owning it. So that was my biggest takeaway from the retreat. Thanks.
Oh, that was awesome, Katie. Thank you. And, for those of you guys, who don't know, I mean, Katie's like a freaking rock star coach on the team, but I could tell that there was something there kind of holding her back. You know what I mean? Like there was just something there holding her back. And it was really cool because over the weekend, I just saw like that light bulb go on. Like I instantly saw like the change. Like it just totally clicked. Like she said, when she was hearing Kim talk about the difference between wanting and owning your why, like of why you want this to work out, like the bigger picture. And yeah, it was just awesome to see. And be prepared because she's going to blow up her business now and her team is going to go nuts. And it's going to be really awesome to watch. So thank you so much, Katie, for sharing that piece of information. So many good takeaways, guys, over the weekend. Tina, you want to go ahead? Do you want me to unmute you? Do you know how to do it? Let me see.
I got it.
There we go. She did it.
I did it. Hi. Oh my God. Where do I start? First of all, my dog is barking. I don't know if you can hear him, but first of all, I want to thank Kathy and Nick for taking us all on that luxury diamond retreat. Honestly, oh, sorry, Brewski, stop. I know that you say that these events change our lives, and they really do. Can you hear me over the dog? All right. So I just wanted to mention a few things, and I feel like I have a lot to say, but I'm going to try to say it quickly because I know everybody's, probably tired and everything. I'll save the best for last, but starting with just learning more about the business side, the income, the leadership ladder, and the team and the personal volume and cycle bonuses was really critical to me because I feel like I've been fuddling around for a while and not really understanding, really how all of that works, and feel like a light bulb went off for me this weekend. And I don't know if it's just because I've heard it so many times and it finally clicked. I'm not a numbers person. I'm a third grade teacher, and that's third grade math is about my level. So that's that. But all of that was really important to me. And then the next thing, getting closer to my top takeaway, just being able to meet with Kim Carver, Sim, my friend Sim. Kim Carver was just was incredible. And just hearing his personal story about his struggles in his life and the marathon story that he told us, it's such a huge takeaway to me that, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And one thing that he said to me in our one-to-one meeting was that he said, be a comet, not a meteor. He said, don't just come in slamming and banging and getting, all you rah, 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 and burn out all your energy. His message was to be consistent with your vital behaviors and, maintain that energy over time. And just, if you come in, balls to the walls and just crazy and just burn out quickly, but you have to really focus on the behaviors. And he also, and I know you've said this a million times, Kathy, but he also said, never sacrifice the relationships for the invites. He said, if you have to hold off on the invites to form the relationships, do so. And I realize we have goals to meet, and that's just something that is part of this business. But that's something that I know that I need to get better at. And then the last thing for me, one of the biggest takeaways, it was kind of like an aha moment, is that, I know that we say that when we're Beachbody coaches, we own our own business. And I think just being around the rest of the team and the leaders on the team made me realize just how part of a team I really am, even though now I'm running my own team. That, I mean, I knew it, but it didn't even occur to me that my success is all of your success. And that's a really, I mean, it could be a scary thing to think about, but at the same time, for me, I feel like it's more of a motivator in that we're all doing this together. And I mean, all of you guys, all of you women that I was with, are so amazing to me that, you know, you have families, you have busy lives, you put the time in and you're helping other people. And, you know, that's what we're all there for. And just on one little side note, when I returned from the retreat and I went straight to my son's soccer game, the last soccer game of the season, and I sat there on the sidelines with a couple of dads in particular and heard nothing but negativity. And all I could think was, I just want to go back to Maine. And I feel like I'm going to cry, but I got so frustrated and I was shaking my head at my husband, like, get me out of here. I don't like to be around this negativity anymore. I mean, one thing that I love, I mean, the huge thing I love about being part of the Beachbody community is all of the positivity and how it's changed my life. And I knew in that moment on the sidelines that I am forever changed because I just don't think that way anymore. I don't critique every little, you know, missed ball or whatever it is, you know, and I just feel like a lot of people do focus on the negative, and that's part of what we do as coaches is always focus on the positive and how to roll forward and not stay where we are and move backwards. So those were my big takeaways.
Wow, that was awesome, Tina. That was amazing. Yeah, and you know, it is funny because the longer you stay in this business, the more of that negativity when you're around other people stands out to you. Like the more noticeable it is to you versus before you became a coach. And you guys, you know, it was a good retreat, right? When people were, you know, when people left the retreat and they're crying on Monday and then they were still crying about it yesterday because it's a feeling you can't put into words. You have to be there to experience it at these events, but it does, like it truly changes you. And like Tina mentioned, like she's forever changed because of this whole business opportunity. It's about personal growth. This isn't just about, hey, let's hit Success Club and try to build a business. Yeah, that stuff happens. But the changes that you see within yourself are just, you become a different person, like a better version of yourself. You look at the world differently. You react to things differently. It's truly incredible. Instead of just letting life happen to you, you know, you realize that, you know, you need to take ownership of your life and that you're meant for more. And that's what I love about this whole thing. So you touched on some awesome points. And I really liked how you brought up too about how, you know, like this isn't just about like Success Club points. This is a relationship building business. And I know sometimes people can get a little desperate to kind of hit goals by the end of the month and they lose sight of the fact that they are actually people that they're dealing with. And so you have to be constantly connecting and building and getting to know people, like getting to know about them and their life and what they're struggling with and how you can help them. And then those Success Club points, they just come and they just happen naturally. But people can tell when you're kind of in panic mode and you're trying to just, you know, reach a goal for your business. So take your time with building the relationships with people, where at the same point in time, you do have to bite the bullet and actually invite them at some point. So there's got to be that balance there. But thank you for sharing, Tina.
Thanks.
All right, who would like to go next?
I'm ready.
Who's that?
Angela.
Oh, Angela.
Hi.
Hi.
So the first thing I learned is not to leave your car running in the park and ride when you get on the airplane. Because I did that. Anyway, okay. I jotted a few things down, and they're kind of random things, but they are kind of piggybacking some other people. I think the first thing that really sticks out to me is that we were all so passionate about the same things. And I mean, I know how I felt about it and how the people I went with felt about it, coaching and being part of this team, but it just amazed me that we all have like the same goals and we're passionate about helping people and doing better things for our families. And that to me was amazing. Another thing that really stuck out to me is the husband side of this whole thing. And my husband's really supportive of me and, you know, helps me with the kids when I have to work and all that stuff. But I wasn't really including him in anything. Like, I didn't know where to start with that. And I knew that if I included him, then he of course would be more supportive. And so we did some talking when I got home, and we figured out that he's going to kind of start picking up the business part, the money part, because that's not as fun for me as the people part. So that was major for us, Scott and I together. And then I also spoke with Kim Carver, and I'm very impatient when it comes to what I want to do with this. Like, I want to do it tomorrow. I don't want to wait. I don't want to be patient. But he kind of what Tina was saying, how it's really important to give it time, and we can't expect to, you know, hit Success Club 30 when you start. I mean, we just have to really give it time, the whole compound effect. And so I've kind of reflected on that. I have to be a little more patient. And as soon as I feel like I was maybe slept the first night, and then I woke up and I'm like, I'm doing my own challenge groups. I mean, I was really ready to go. We did a coaching blitz Wednesday. I mean, and I'm doing them next month. And I think all of us kind of split and did our own thing after this weekend. So I think I just gained confidence that I didn't know I didn't have when I was there. It's just, it was marvelous. And then the last thing is that I know I'm doing the right, I might even cry, but I know I'm doing the right thing for my family. So this is the right path for me. So thank you everyone who was there. And oh my gosh, thanks, Kathy.
This is the whole weekend crying.
Oh my God.
We spent the whole weekend crying and laughing. It was awesome. Can't forget the leg hugs, Angela. But no, Angela brought up some really good points too, which it is really important, you know, to make sure that you are communicating with your spouse and to even give them a little something so that they can, you know, be involved with it. So it's not just like just you and your business. And at least if you don't want to, if they're not willing to step in and do anything right now, at least be on the same page with them and sit down and communicate with them about when you can sit down and build this business and how it's going to work best with, you know, your family schedule, because there does need to be that balance between family life, work life, and then this business and all of that. So that's important. And then I really did love, you know, how Angela ended it saying that she knows she's doing the right thing for her family. And I'm going to say something at the end of this, you know, I'm going to save it for the end. I didn't want to take it away from one of the girls as one of their key takeaways. So I wanted to see if one of the girls would say it. But it kind of ties into that and what my biggest takeaway was from the retreat. So, and holy smokes, Angela, if you're gaining more confidence, I can only just imagine what the heck's going to happen with your team. So thank you for sharing all of that. All right, who'd like to go next?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead, Kristen.
Hi, everybody. So good to see everyone's faces on here after a few days away. Everyone is kind of hitting the nail on the head tonight with everything I wanted to say. I came on here thinking I'd talk about fears, but Lauren, you did a fantastic job with that. I just learned a lot about confronting my fears and how many of them I had, and figured out, sorry, dog, Gary, that just figuring out an action plan to conquer those fears really can help you grow, not only as a person, but just to move forward in your business. And then also, Kim shared something. He called it the stew for success that I thought I'd share, because I think that, you know, every coach could benefit from this. I know I did. He said that there are there's two things mainly. One is the things that you like to do, which is easy. Whatever part of the business you love to do, that comes easy and it's natural, and you tend to do that every day. But the second thing that's really important is there are things that you don't like to do, but those are the things that need to be done to be successful. And that both of those ingredients together are what are going to move your business forward. And so I know for me, that inviting piece was really hard to do at first, and it still is sometimes. But it's really an important piece too. So, and I know that could be different for everyone, the things you don't like to do. But so that was one of my takeaways that I don't think was mentioned yet, but lots of takeaways. Just amazing people. I think we're all in this for the right reasons. And I think that's why we've attracted just some really awesome quality people to our team. That's about all I have right now.
That was great. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, the analogy that he gave with the stew soup, I really like that too. Because it's so true. I mean, if you were to write down everything that you have to do every day for this business, right? When you sit down to actually do your work, let's just face it, right? You always start with the things that are easy. It's like, all right, let's just get this done. This is easy. But like what Kristen said, it's that inviting piece that tends to be the hardest part. But that's the piece that's going to grow your business, because it's a relationship building business. And the only way that you're going to build relationships is if you're reaching out and talking to people and then inviting them to join us. And just like Kristen said, it's uncomfortable. And especially the first time you do it, it's really scary, and you're coming out of your comfort zone, and it totally doesn't seem natural to you. And it's like you want to run away from the computer when you hit the enter button. And the more you do it, though, it's one of those things, the more you do, the easier it gets. And then you eventually don't even think twice about it, and you truly get in the back of your mind that, I'm doing these people a disservice if I'm not inviting them to this, because I know that what we have works, because it's worked for me and it's worked for so many others on the team, and it's real and it's real life, and it can fit in very naturally into your lifestyle. And I know that if this person tries it and they stick with it for a month, they're going to feel so great, and they're going to see such awesome results. They're going to wish that they had started 6 months ago. So your mindset starts to shift like that the more that you do that inviting with people. So thank you, Kristen. All right. I think there's a couple more people left here. Who would like to go next? Courtney, go ahead.
Hi, guys. So I think most of mine were already said, but I have two little ones. One of them with my my one-on-one with Kim Carver was talking about setting business hours.
Uh-oh. Oh, now I can hear you. You blocked out.
Oh, yeah, I froze. I think it's my internet.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So he talked about the importance of setting business hours and then actually announcing that on your social media, which I have yet to do, but I'm going to do it. And how it's really easy with this business to like dilute yourself and kind of try and like fit it in here and here and there. And because we're all so passionate about it, you want to do it all the time, but then you're never present. Then you're not present with your family. You're not present with your business. You're not present with the people that you're talking to. You're not giving them your full attention. And so it can be really easy that way to get overwhelmed and burned out. So that was something that really stuck with me. And then making that announcement on your social media, letting people know that you're available, from this time to this time, even if you split it up a little bit, but letting them know that, because one of the great things about coaching, and that we want people to know that, could potentially join our teams, is this doesn't have to be like a 24/7 thing. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to allow you time freedom. And I know with me being home, I kind of want to do it as much as I can, and then I'm like only half there with my kids and then half there with this. And that's not really a good way to represent what this is, So that was something that really stuck out. And then the other thing was just how incredibly lucky and amazing we are to be on this team and to be with this company, because I know I said this on my page and in a video, but I really freaked out about going to this retreat and being with, all these women, because, we all know, how women, we all can be at times. but there was absolutely no judgment, no negativity. Everyone just wants everyone to succeed and will share whatever tip, whatever we can to help each other. So I think that even if you weren't at the retreat, I think it's so important for everyone to know that if you're struggling with any part of the business, you can reach out to any one of us at any time. And I'm telling you, like, we would just all are here to help each other because, you know, it's just about helping each other succeed. It's tough and it's a lot to learn, especially when you come on as a new coach. But I just think it's something to realize just how incredibly lucky we are. So, and business-wise or personally-wise, you know, like you now have like this army of people behind you in whatever you need, whatever you're going through. And it's just something to remember when you're struggling or, you know, at any time. So those are my two big takeaways.
No, I love those. Those are awesome takeaways. And so important to remember too, like what Courtney said about the business hours. You know, I know, for example, when I do my getting started right calls for my new coaches, I always stress the importance now of making sure that they set specific business hours, because we all know what it can be like when you get into this and you fall so in love with it and you love it so much, you just want to kind of like do it as much as possible in and out of things. But then what ends up happening, just like she said, is that you're never really 100% present living in the moment. You know, you're half in with the kids and half in when you're responding to somebody on social media. You know what I mean? You're half in with your spouse, or you're half in when you're out with your friends doing something else. So setting those specific blocks of time, and you can build a really successful, incredible, thriving business, you know, off of that 1 or maybe 2 hours a day, and just sticking with it. And it just gets rid of so much extra stress, guys, when you know when you're working on this business. Like when you have those times set aside, when you're going through your day and you're busy with the kids, like for myself, like when I'm busy with the kids and I'm running Landon to school and I'm running to my parents' house and I'm going to the post office and Target and all of that stuff, I'm not even thinking about the business, because I know that my time for the business is not during the day. My time for me is at night when they're in bed. That's what works for me. So once you have those time slots nailed down for you, even if it's just half an hour chunks, you get rid of so much extra stress, because you know that whatever you have to do for the business is going to wait until that time for your business starts, and then you're going to work on it then. And when it ends, you're going to be done until the next day. And it's so you're going to be disciplined with it, because like Courtney said, you become so passionate about it. You do want to tend to kind of do it all the time, but you can't. You'll go crazy. And then, you know, I'm not going to say this just because I know I am a little biased, but I really do believe that we have a special team. I just do. I've thought it for a long time. I feel that not all teams are like this. I feel like we have this awesome special bond between everybody on this team that doesn't really exist between most other teams. Like it goes way beyond and above just business with this team. And that's what I love so much about everybody and about the way that this team is. And just like Courtney said, you can reach out to anybody and somebody, whoever it is on this team, and they will be a friend to you and truly help you try to succeed or help you through whatever it is that you need help with. And I don't know, it's just so awesome. That's why I love you guys. So thank you for sharing that. And then Jane, are you ready? Awesome.
So I got home from work really late, so I don't know all what else was already shared. I'm hearing some consistent things. So I guess I'll just focus mostly not on the business side, but on the personal growth. Because I think I'm in a little bit different situation than many of the coaches on our team. I'm single. I don't have a family yet. And my career is one that I absolutely love. It is my passion. I am one of those really annoying people that just cannot wait to get back to work on Monday morning. And I do work periodically throughout the summer. I'm a psychologist, but in a school setting. So, but I would go in every day in the summer. Like I absolutely love my job. And so my why is a little bit different. Like I'm not necessarily doing this for, initially I signed up for the discount, quite honestly, and I had moved, had a larger mortgage payment. So I was hoping to get my Shakeology paid for, but in the last, it's been about 11 months, almost 12 months now, things have totally shifted. And now I found this totally like the second passion that I have in helping others, helping adults in a totally different way. And so I think through all of this, I've heard a lot, and I've heard this my whole life, like, wow, you have it all figured out. I totally don't. I am as big of a hot mess as anyone else could ever be. I guess I just hide it really well because I'm a pretty confident person on the outside, but on the inside, I'm totally not. And so I've always been somebody that is very solution focused. I'm terrified of heights. So I do things that really challenge my thinking of heights. I've gone ziplining. I have climbed gone mountain climbing. I've climbed ruins, in Mexico. I've jumped out of a perfectly good airplane just to conquer that fear. And I've always been that way in all aspects of my life. If anything scares me, and I don't know if it's the psychologist in me or just one of those, I'm kind of stubborn. So I refuse to admit that something can beat me. And I'm not necessarily a perfectionist in all areas of my life, but I am in some. And so some people kind of take that as I have everything all figured out, which I totally, totally don't. And so just in the last few days, I've kind of let that anxiety just kind of get pushed to the side. And I've had a lot of negativity in my life about the coaching opportunity. I've had some really negative comments at work, friends, family. And even though I know better, because I do, I can logically say, what do they know? They don't understand what we're doing. They don't get the people on our team. They don't get that this is totally legit, that this is real. But I think it took me really facing that fear and just saying, I don't care. I don't care that they don't understand what we're doing. And that's okay. I don't have to convince them. And so even though I logically was saying to myself, it doesn't really matter what they think, it doesn't matter, it truly did. It was impacting me, even if I didn't want to admit that it was. And it was just inside, maybe not on the outside, because lots of other people have said, oh, I didn't even know, but I knew, and I couldn't kind of let that go. So I think our retreat was really good for me personally on that level. And obviously that's going to be something that I can take not only into our business and our team, but moving forward with all areas of my life, really, relationships and family, work, just in general, and helping others overall. So.
Wow, that was awesome, Jane. Thank you for sharing all of that. That was great. I know she brought up so many good points. It is true. Especially too, I like how she said how when she is scared of something, she forces herself to just do it. That's so hard to do, right? But that's one way to help yourself get over it. It's that first initial step. So that was an awesome point. And just to you don't have to worry about trying to convince people, you know what I mean, about what this is and stuff. It is and especially I am kind of the same way too. I worry a lot about what people think about me, and but as soon as you can kind of be at peace with the fact that it doesn't need to be okay for everyone. Other people don't need to approve of what you're doing, as long as you're doing what you love and you're doing something that you're passionate about, and it's helping people and making a difference in somebody's lives every day. So thank you girls so much for sharing. So you guys didn't say my thing, so that's good. So now I'm going to share my biggest takeaway. So we had Kim Carver come, from corporate, and he came down, and I think it was Saturday. Yeah. So it was Saturday, guys. We're all sitting around, in the big, great room by all the windows and big fireplace there. And, he's telling his story. He's very personal, heart-touching story. We're just sitting there and we're looking out. You can see the mountain right there in the blue sky. And it was just a beautiful day. And he's going through this whole story. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because it was obviously a personal story he was sharing with us. But basically, to make a long story short, he was going through some really tough and trying times with his family. And there were a lot of times where he just felt like giving up, or felt like he couldn't do it, or felt so discouraged and was stuck in this horrible rut and was thinking he was never going to get out of it. And how is he going to get through this? It's never going to happen. And he had to pick himself back up so many times over and over again to keep going, right? Because he was fighting for something that was really important for him. And so it's really emotional, actually, now that I'm thinking about everything again. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. Don't worry, guys, I'm not going to cry. And so at the end of this whole thing, we had already cried now about like probably 4 times during his entire conversation that he had, entire story that he told us. He showed us a picture of his 4 kids that was just recently taken. And if you go to his wall, it's his cover photo right now. And one of the things that he said is that if you had showed me this, like if you had shown me my family back then, when I felt like stopping, when I felt like I couldn't go on, when I felt like it wasn't worth it, this wasn't going to work, when I felt like completely quitting, when I felt so discouraged and overwhelmed, if you had shown me this picture, what my life would have looked like at the end of all this, it would have been not a question in my mind. I would have never, ever thought about quitting. It would have been easy to keep going because I knew the end result was going to be this beautiful picture of his family that he had, of his 4 beautiful children. And so I just thought that that was so important and so powerful because it's so true. How often do we get caught up in the no's? How often do we get caught up in the things people say to us? And how often do we get caught up in the times that, life just happens? Or how often do we get so busy with work where we just want to keep pushing this aside and next month, and how often do we see people quit, right? 3 months in, 2 months in, people stop, right? But if you could all see that end result of what this business opportunity can do for the rest of your entire life, what that end result would be like, you would never think twice about stopping or doing something else or quitting, or you would keep going no matter what. And so one of the things for me is that, from the very beginning, I know it sometimes can be hard to really visualize, where you want the end result to be. And it is good, obviously, to set 30 to 60 to 90-day like smaller goals along the way, but you also still need to have in the back of your mind what you want that picture to look like for you. Like if somebody were to print out a picture and show you what your life would be like what would be on that picture? And it's really hard for people to visualize that, right? But for me, when I first came into this, like my picture was me at home with my kids. You know what I mean? It wasn't back at school teaching. That I had a very, very crystal clear vision of what I wanted this opportunity to do for our family, which is why it's been easy for me to kind of go through all the times that are trying and testing and the times you feel like, just, is this really for me? Should I keep going? Maybe I should just go back to my other job, blah, blah, blah. So if you have a hard time visualizing where you want to be, sit down and literally make a vision board for yourself. We made vision boards over this past weekend at the retreat. Make a vision board of what you want your life to look like at the end of all of this. Because if it's powerful enough and you can see it and you know what's going to happen, those times where you're tested will be it won't even be a question of it, because you will know where you're going and you'll know what this opportunity can do for you. So that was my biggest takeaway from the whole retreat. And I loved how all of you guys shared your biggest takeaways and tips. Does anybody have any, I'll take 3 questions for maybe any of the leaders that were there at the retreat, anything specific that you heard that maybe you wanted a little bit, just a couple quick questions. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can comment in the chat box before I let you guys go. Nope. All right.
I have something to add.
Oh, Carrie, yes.
I remember when Liz hosted her retreat. Liz is Team Drop the Cookies coach, for those of you guys that don't know. When she hosted her retreat, and I forget who told me, was it you, Lauren, that said whenever they got back from the retreat that their businesses really took off. And it was really cool and really encouraging to hear. But also she did the same thing. She had those coaches share their takeaways from the retreat, and that really meant a lot to me too. So I hope that you guys get something out of this too. So
I know.
I'd ever be in the position to be able to like do that, like go away on a retreat. And so many people I talk to just don't get it. Like they don't understand. They think it was just fun and like go and hang out. And I like want to shake people and be like, no, it's so much more than that. And you can do it too. So
I know.
I'm just fired up about it.
Oh yeah, I know. You should have seen it. I was all fired up too when I got back. I mean, I was messaging people about becoming a coach on the team, like saying things I've never said before. It was just like, whatever. Everybody needs this. But I'm sure that you guys got a lot out of this, and I'm sure it was super helpful for you guys to hear. You know, nothing gets you more going than hearing from your very own team, like your very own coaches on this team who are in here doing it every single day, sharing, you know, their best tips and takeaways and inspiration and motivation. So I hope that you guys got a lot out of it. And if you learned one thing, it's to go out and talk to any of these girls on the team. And we are all here for you in any way possible. So thanks guys for being here tonight. And I hope you have a great weekend. Bye everyone.